Gravedigger is without a doubt the most iconic monster truck on the planet. The truck has had a 40-year history and a multitude of drivers over the years driving multiple renditions. But the question of which Gravedigger specifically is the best, or which ones are considered great, has always been on the minds of myself and fans across the world. Today, we count down our picks for the top 10 greatest Gravediggers of all time. Number 10, Gravedigger 2. Gravedigger 2 was of course Dennis Anderson's race truck from 1989 to 1990 and competed in the old TNT days on tough tracks. Anderson would always drive the truck hard, which led to it being repaired often. One such time, however, the truck would be involved in a crash that would ultimately retire the truck from competition completely by snapping the frame in half. In 1994, parts from this truck would be reused for a special stunt truck that would see Dennis driving across the Currituck Sound in North Carolina. Number 9, Gravedigger 7. Gravedigger 7 is one of the most underrated and underappreciated diggers in history. The truck is known for its short wheelbase and its jaw-dropping power wheelies, as well as its wild and almost unstable freestyle capability. The truck debuted in 1992 and was driven up until 1997. The truck would then be rebuilt in 1999 in time for the new millennium. Most of you, of course, knows what would happen from here. The truck would be plagued with mechanical gremlins that would haunt Dennis and any other drivers who drove it for the first quarter. Despite being an absolute catastrophe during the season, ironically, it would win Dennis his first and only freestyle championship at World Finals 1. After Vegas, Charlie Porkin would drive it for the rest of 2000 and up until 2002. From there, it would be piloted by Rod Schmidt from 2002 to 2005 and would be shortly retired after. The truck is a permanent display outside Digger's Dungeon to this day. Despite the rocky rebuild, Gravedigger 7 was truly an incredible piece of machinery. Its crazy freestyles and ragged edge driving made it such a memorable truck, not just for the fans, but even the drivers who drove it. And that is why it makes our list. Number 8, Gravedigger 12. Gravedigger 12 was Dennis Anderson's race truck from 1997 to 2000. The truck was very different to the other diggers at the time. Known for its 152-inch wheelbase, it introduced the purple fog and elongated Gravedigger logo. It would become Dennis's primary truck and would help him win the 1999 USHRA Points Championship. As previously mentioned, he would briefly drive it in 2000 before debuting a new digger for the 2001 season. And speaking of 2001, Gary Porter joined the team and began piloting GD12 from 2001 to 2010. Adam would drive 12 in the World Finals 11 Encore with the blue and silver paint scheme that would then become the Legend a year later. The truck would have a brief stint running the Gravedigger the Legend name with Tony Farrell behind the wheel for the 2011 season. 12 was the perfect truck for racing, and Anderson and Porter knew how to make it work during freestyle. Number 7, Gravedigger 14. One night, Dennis Anderson must have been thinking, what if Gravedigger 12 and Gravedigger 7 got married and had a child? His answer would be Gravedigger 14. The truck took the best things from 12 and 7 to create a truck that was somewhere in the middle. With it being built on a PEI base and the wheelbase being longer than 7 but shorter than 12, you'd think it would be the perfect solution, right? Well, sort of. Like the Digger 7 rebuild, 14 suffered many problems during the start of the 2001 season, but would overcome those by the end of the year, and actually had a fair freestyle winning streak throughout the 2001 season. It would be run by Dennis from 2001 to 2003, then Jason Childress and Scott Pontybrand would drive it for 2004, Then Carl Van Horn would drive it from 2005 to 2010. It would be run by Ryan Anderson as the Red Primer Gravedigger in the World Finals 11 Encore, which saw Dennis and Ryan's truck collide in mid-air. Number 6, Gravedigger 16. Gravedigger 16 was Pablo Huffaker's second official chassis, and would be his longest lasting one, debuting in 2002 and being ran all the way up until 2013. The truck is one of his most iconic and most recognizable Gravediggers, with Huffaker's signature purple rims and red shocks. The truck would be mainly run during the season. As for one-off occasions and World Finals, an alternate chassis would be run with an alternate identity, such as Blacksmith or Captain's Curse. For World Finals 10 and 11, Huffaker would drive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Digger 16, which admittedly looked very cool and was fun to watch. There's a reason why this truck was driven for so long, and that's because it was recognizable, dominant, and overall a solid truck that is always on the ragged edge. Number 5, Gravedigger 23. Gravedigger 23 was Carl Van Horn's chassis, and easily one of the best performing chassis on the team. Debuting in 2011 and being run until 2016, the truck was known for running its coilover and nitrogen shock combination that was rarely used, but seen on trucks like Adam's Legend truck. It would also be run overseas, most notably for the Australian Tour in 2015 and 16, and in Osaka, Japan in 2016. In its last season in 2017, Tyler Menninger joined the Gravedigger team and would run the truck on the first Triple Threat series. Menninger would go on to win the East Triple Threat Tour and earn his bid to World Finals 18, and would make an impressive World Finals debut by almost winning racing and laying down a solid freestyle run. The truck would be retired in 2018 after Menninger would switch to Gravedigger 32. Number 4, Gravedigger 22. Gravedigger 22 has an interesting background that some may not know. It was Charlie Porkin's second official chassis, converted from John Seesock's Batman truck that earned him his 2 World Racing Championships. Seesock would receive a new chassis for Batman, while the older one would be converted into Digger 22 and run under Charlie Porkin from 2009 to 2013. Keeping with the theme of winning championships, it would help Porkin win his first and currently only World Championship at World Finals 11 under the Monster Mutt name. The truck is one of 2, technically 3, chassis ever to be converted into a Gravedigger, with 32 and Pablo's first Gravedigger that originally ran as just showing off from the 90s. With a total of 3 World Championships to its name, Gravedigger 22 has to be our number 4 pick on our list. Number 3, Gravedigger 32. Gravedigger 32 was Adam Anderson's first official Gravedigger chassis, ran from 2015 to 2017, converted from his former Gravedigger the Legend chassis. It was built similar to 33 and featuring coilovers, only with a wider stance. In its first season running under the Gravedigger name, it would be the equivalent of The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which, now that I think about it, is a terrifyingly accurate analogy, with Adam completely dominating and winning the 2016 FS1 Tour, and his second Freestyle World title that same year. In 2017, the chassis had to be front-halved due to extensive damage. This repair was also one of Cohen's last works with Monster Jam after building Digger 35. Tyler Menninger took it over for the 2018 season when Adam received 35, where Tyler would once again win the Triple Threat Series, earning his opportunity to compete at World Finals 19 and make the final round, this time against Adam Anderson. Number 2, Gravedigger 19. 2004 would see the debut of an instant classic. Gravedigger 19 was Dennis Anderson's chassis from 2004 to 2005, but the truck ran a lot longer than what Dennis originally drove it for. The truck is instantly recognizable, its longer wheelbase and its signature black rims and silver beadlocks, until they were removed when Randy Brown took over. It would be one of 3 diggers to earn Anderson a world championship by claiming an emotional victory at World Finals 5 in 2004 over longtime Gravedigger driver Pablo Huffaker in Blacksmith. In 2006, the chassis was handed down to Rod Schmidt, who then handed it over to Randy Brown, who would run it from 2007 to 2013, with the truck being retired in 2014. It was also the first chassis Paul Cohen ever built, and the cornerstone of not just all future Gravedigger chassis, but the industry as a whole, as this is regarded as the first Stage 4 monster truck. With a truck that's so important to not just the history of Gravedigger, but monster trucks as a whole, it sure makes you wonder why Dennis didn't drive it longer than 2 full seasons. Number 1, Gravedigger 20. So to answer the question of why Dennis didn't run 19 for as long as he did, 3 words: Gravedigger 20. Digger 20 was Dennis Anderson's longest running and most successful chassis from 2006 to 2013. The chassis took all of the greatest things from 19 and modernized it. The truck would debut the all too familiar and iconic Green Ghost scheme in its debut season. Speaking of which, similar to Digger 19, it would earn him his 2nd World Racing Championship and 3rd World Championship overall. Adam Anderson would drive 20 for the first quarter after Dennis had suffered an injury at Minneapolis, but would return to drive the truck for World Finals 8 with the awesome chrome anniversary scheme that took 60 hours to complete. In 2010, Dennis would win his final World Championship, defeating longtime rival Tom Meents in the process, and from that show onwards up until Atlanta 2011 would see Dennis win 9 straight racing victories. The truck would continue to be run up until 2013, where Dennis would debut Gravedigger 30 the following year. What makes this the best Gravedigger of all time? It's Dennis's longest running chassis he has driven of all time, and is definitely the most successful. It was truly ahead of its time, and it showed. And that is it with our list. What do you make of this list? What's your favorite Gravedigger of all time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you all soon with some more monster truck content.